So AI has been in the news a lot for the past few months. First, we had Stable Diffusion taking first place from artists and art contests, and now it's pretty much a household application like GIMP or some other kind of drawing software, especially for the people that are lucky enough to have current gen GPUs and actually run Stable Diffusion fairly quickly. But there's one AI in particular that has been causing a lot of controversy in the education sector, and that is ChatGPT. So this is another model that is produced by OpenAI, the same company that made DALL-E, but instead of producing images, this model produces text. This model is supposed to interact in a conversational way. So you can sort of think of it like a chatbot. And it's really, really smart. You can ask it for advice on things and it'll actually give you reasonable responses. You can ask it questions and it will typically give you a correct answer. And this is where things get tough for the world of academia. You can ask ChatGPT to answer the questions on your homework, and there's a very good chance that it is actually going to give you the correct answers. You could even ask it to do math homework. Like you could tell it to show its work and just copy all of that down, and it would be pretty difficult for your teacher to tell that you did your homework with AI. And it's important to note that these AI models, they're not just looking up, like in the case of an essay, they're not just looking up an essay on the internet and then spitting that out in text form at you. These are generative AI models. They generate new and unique outputs. So you could use something like ChatGPT to write your essay and possibly even have it list sources for you in your bibliography. You can turn that in and it's going to pass the plagiarism checker, at least the old school ones that they have for checking to see if you just copied someone's essay or if you copied someone's essay and you just tried to change a few words here and there. And then you get an A because a lot of professors and teachers have been shown what ChatGPT can do. They've literally seen the types of things that it can output, and they've said that they would give full marks to its work. So a lot of the homework that teachers are handing out, which would probably take students hours to complete, could just be done by an AI that is free to use in a matter of seconds. So naturally, we can't have the kids making a mockery of their homework. We can't have them just playing Fortnite while a heckin' robot writes their essay about Columbus for them. So different people in different school districts are coming up with different ways to try to stop this new AI-assisted form of cheating. New York City, unsurprisingly, took the very cringe big government approach, and they just banned it for both students and teachers. We don't like the robots. Actually, this isn't even a robot, it's software, so we don't like the math. We are not allowed to interact with that kind of math or those kinds of algorithms anymore, at least not while you're at school. So yeah, it's inaccessible on New York City's school networks now, although I wonder just how secure and just how inaccessible it really is on those networks. Because I remember when I was in school, and granted, I did most of my schooling in a small town, and it was a long time ago, but the security at my school was hilariously bad looking back at it with all of the things that I know now, and even some of the things that I did then. Like, it was possible to bypass the firewall with proxies very easily, and not even special, super obscure proxies. Ones like Hide My Ass that everyone knows about, or everyone at least knew about back then, I don't know if they're still a thing, would work. Or you could just use any working IP from a free proxy list, like Google free proxy list, and just find, I don't know, some sussy Russian IP, connect to it, and then within seconds you're able to play Happy Wheels. Also, the command prompt wasn't locked down on those schools. So yeah, every skitty in that high school was able to get up to all kinds of tomfoolery. But anyway, I guess that schools in big cities, they have better security. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, especially if they're going to give students Chromebooks, because then the administrators, they would have very fine-grained control over what people can do down to the device level. But that's only on the Chromebook and only when it's on the school's Wi-Fi. There's nothing really stopping kids from using their smartphones and LTE data to access ChatGPT and use that to cheat when they're in class, or especially because what it seems like is that the issue that people are having is kids are using this to cheat on their homework. I really don't see how you're going to stop them when they're at home. They're using presumably their own devices at home on their own Wi-Fi. So I wonder how effective this ban that New York City is doing is really going to be. One thing that I know for sure is that since it's a complete blanket ban on the New York networks, the teachers aren't going to be able to use it as a teaching tool. And that's what AI really is, or at least that's how I wish more people would look at it. It's just a tool. One that's going to be useful in all areas of life, just like the personal computer is and smartphones are, and it's going to help reduce the amount of trivial labor that we have to do. But some people are just so adverse to this concept, yet the tech keeps on getting better. Now, there's another approach that's being used to stop the use of AI in schools, or at least stop using AI to cheat on work in school, and that approach is to fight AI with AI. Now, this is the do-it-yourself based approach that I like to see. So Edward Tien, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, is the person who developed this. He's a computer science student at Princeton University, and he made this app called GPT-0, which uses similar technology to ChatGPT to identify if something is written by AI. So we already have an AI arms race taking place between people who don't want to write essays, or at least people who, people who don't want to write essays, people who don't want to do all of their schoolwork themselves, or at least people who want to use AI for it, and people who are trying to stop this plagiarizing or stop this cheating. But honestly, I think that the essay generating bots are going to win this battle in the long run, since the number of ways that you can write an essay and just the combinations of words that you can put together that would actually make sense seems rather limited. Plus, ChatGPT, it wasn't even really designed specifically to write essays. Again, it's supposed to be more of a chatting bot. It's just able to do it as kind of a byproduct because the data that it was trained on is so large. But you can bet if someone did try to build specifically an essay writing bot with the same data set as ChatGPT, and they also incorporated GPT-0 into the training, basically they could use that to teach it how to evade GPT-0's detection techniques, and then we could end up with a completely undetectable essay generator. So I think that the real long-term solution to this, instead of kids becoming professionals at using AI to cheat and teachers becoming AI professionals to try to stop them from cheating, is to just make school about learning again and not writing essays. Don't make it about having students turn in a Word file and then you do a word count on it to make sure that it's at least 5,000 words, and then you do just a quick grammar check, quick spelling check, plagiarism, and AI check. And mind you, all of this is automated. And then if it passes all of those automated tests, then you just give it an A or a B. Because that's what I think a lot of teachers are actually doing when they grade essays. I know for a fact there is no way that teachers, and certainly no way that professors with over 200 students per class, is reading and really thinking about what is written in all of these students' 5,000 or 10,000 word essays. There's just no way. I'm pretty sure that they use those automated tools like I talked about to just see if you follow directions. Because that's what it's really about, right? Did you write the essay? Did you do the number of words you're supposed to do? And then did you spell and use grammar correctly? And if you pass those, then they might just skim over your writing and give you an A or B based on what you wrote. Unless they get offended by it, of course, then they might give you an even lower score than a student who objectively wrote a worse essay, like had a worse vocabulary and whatever other objective parameters you can grade an essay on. And that's really the problem with essays as a teaching tool or as a grading tool. They're overused. They're not the best way to teach kids. They're not the best way to assess if people are learning things. And the fact that it's been automated with AI is probably just more evidence that it is antiquated. But I can't expect public schools to fix themselves anytime soon. They were broken long before I went through that system, and they remain broken today. So I'm just going to sit back and cheer for the AI making a mockery of this antiquated education technique. Like and comment to hack the algorithm. Follow me on Odyssey, and have a great day.